Oh, yes! It ended up being a bit not super interesting for me. Hello, welcome to this video. My name's Dan, aka Lucent. I'm a singer-songwriter and music producer. I do a bit of everything. And today I'm going to be reacting to ELECTRA Heart by Marina and the Diamonds. First time listen, let's go. So it's been 9 years this album's been out and this is the first time I've ever heard it. So, Marina Journey, let's go. So loads of people suggested Marina to me before, based on like what I'd reacted to before. People were like, you're going to really like Marina and the Diamonds. And I listened to Ancient Dreams in a Modern Wasteland. I thought maybe that'd be a good one to start with. And it was very unique, talking about things in a really unabashed way that I thought was quite unheard of in most mainstream pop music. But like a lot of the songs didn't really stick with me like on repeat listens and stuff. But like a lot of people said, if you want something a bit more poppy, then ELECTRA Heart is a really good like in between. So I'm excited to actually listen to ELECTRA Heart. Yeah, first time listen, woohoo. But before we get started, if you're brand new here, then welcome to this channel of music discovery and love for music. Yes, subscribe to the channel. And yeah, if you like this video, then make sure to give it a like, because it really helps boost this video and the whole channel in the rankings and stuff, which is just like so good for my growth. And like I'm moving to London next week, so my rent is gonna go woohoo. So subscribe to pay my rent, as one commenter said. Don't worry about me. Anyway, let's get on to it. Oh, one thing to know, I'm not going to do the deluxe version. I know it was the same thing last week with Lana Ray. I know loads of people were like, why aren't you doing the deluxe version? Like, as I said, I'm moving to London next week. But yeah, so I just don't have as much free time to edit this week. So I'm sticking to the normal albums. I can always do the deluxe at another time if you want me to. I'll get back to doing deluxe versions at some point. ELECTRA Heart, let's go. Marina and the Diamonds, as she is now not known. What did the Diamonds stand for? Song number 1, this is Bubblegum Bitch. Ooh, certainly a bit poppier. I'm the girl you die for, the real one. Chew you up and spit you out like bubblegum. It's cool. I love that. Well, I think I might have actually heard this one before. Bubblegum Bitch. She's kind of saying like, you know, she's not like the picture perfect person. She's kind of a bit more real, and she'll kind of chew up those other people and spit them out. Oh, that's the ELECTRA Heart. I love how she like puts stuff and how her melodies go. They're very kind of like funky and catchy. Funky, lol. Like that movement there. Whoa. Maybe it's like kind of beating those girls at their own game, you know? There you go, short and sweet. I think it's kind of, yeah, it kind of feels like she's playing up to that stereotype of like being all like demure and pink and cute and whatever. But then, yeah, the other side of it is like bubblegum and bitch are very much like the opposites of one another, aren't they? And it's like that central, like a juxtaposition, as we like to say. Maybe she's just admitting, yeah, like I'm not always going to be that happy bubblegum girl. Sometimes I'm a bitch as well. I like it. And like it's really catchy. Like I'm really sensing like, having listened to Ancient Dreams, there were some songs on there that kind of have a similar kind of bounce to them. It's kind of a bounce that makes it seem quite kind of sassy and kind of sarcastic. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like the bounciness is the bubblegum, but there's like a sharp tongue at the end of that bubblegum, you know, and that's the bitch. Do you know what I mean? Cool. Okay, let's go on to song number 2. This is Prima Donna. I have heard this one because this was quite big at the time. But yeah, let's listen to it anyway. Prima Donna girl. Yeah. I remember when this song came out, I was like, this is really cool and silly. I like it. I don't think she necessarily feels like she is a prima donna though. Do you know what I mean? What? People did say that she was kind of putting on a character in this album. Is that right? So maybe the prima donna is like the character that she's playing, and she's critical of those people, I think. Such a big deal though. Yeah. I like how it kind of like goes into the chorus and actually slows down a bit. It's like an anti-chorus, isn't it? It's quite cool. But it's always someone else's fault. Yeah, but then it doesn't actually go into full mode until it goes back into the verse, which is kind of cool. I like how it's reversed. So she's kind of self-aware there, I think. Every verse and chorus adds new elements. It keeps it very interesting the whole way through, I think. It's a really well-written pop song, actually. I can understand why it was big, you know. Okay, and then it goes to the full chorus at the end. It's cool, I like it. It's very well done. Yeah. I need the drama, I need the hype, I need to be difficult, I need everything for me. I really like that song. It's just such a good, well-written pop song, innit? Like, having listened to Ancient Dreams and Modern Wasteland, which people were saying that's her, right? And then previous albums were more of a character. Is that right? Let me know what the goss and the details are. Like, I didn't get a sense that she really is that self-centered and self-important in Ancient Dreams. So, yeah, it does seem to be that she's kind of painting this picture, here we go again, of this character who is used to getting her own way and like doesn't really understand why it's such a big deal because she's just so wrapped up in her own head. I'm watching at the moment on Netflix. It is related. I'm watching Elite, the Spanish high school drama thing with all the rich people. I'm loving it, by the way. But like, it reminds me of the characters, like some of the characters in that who have kind of grown up rich, grown up kind of getting everything they want and having this kind of power over the people around them. And that is kind of the character that she's creating here, is somebody who emotionally manipulates people around her into getting what she wants. And she does a really good job of kind of fully fleshing out this character through this kind of really kind of cool pop song. It's like an anti-pop song, really, in a way, isn't it? Like the full instrumentation in the verses and then the pulled back instrumentation, the build up through the choruses to go back into the verses, and then tying it all together at the end with a chorus that is full instrumentation. I love that she's kind of turning it on its head and then utilizing that to make a different kind of build and a different kind of satisfying ending. You know, it's really, yeah, clever. Let's go on to song number 3. This is Lies. Ooh, you know I love a good funky chord. Maybe I should do jazz. Ooh. Love that production. You're never gonna love me, what's the point in playing? I'm only gonna lose. I've been through that before, babes. Yeah. Someone's been leading her on, haven't they? I like this a lot. Oh. Yes! Oh. Oh. She's just okay to sit in denial, you know? Oh. Love it. Oh. Oh. I don't want to know. Oh. It's like she's said to this person that she's kind of been dating, you know, stop, don't tell me the truth. I'm okay to just live in ignorant bliss, you know? Love the production on it too. So sick. Oh. It does sound like they're breaking up throughout the verses, doesn't it? But then before she ends it, but yeah, before they end it, she's like, let's just pretend. I'd rather just live in this state of denial. I'd rather just believe the lies. Oh, but chills, I love it. It's like that kind of idea of sunk cost as well. Like, they've put so much time into it, like, it would be a waste if they turn it off now, you know? Or... Yes! Oh, I love this. I love this. I love this very much. I already know it. I love this. Oh, best song so far. Easy. Oh my god, I love that. Like, just that idea that, like, you'd rather just live in the ignorant bliss is just, like, so relatable and so, like, just, like, heartbreaking. She's really, like, done a good job of, like, summing that up in a pop song and, you know, like, and doing it in such an effective way, like, and the production on it, it really, really, really sells that story, doesn't it, you know? Production and the composition, you know? Oh, yeah, love it. Oh my god. So tight as well, really tightly written and really tightly produced. I think that's like something that I really appreciate in kind of like music that's more towards pop. I mean, there's something to be said for songs that you listen to loads and loads and loads and loads and they really, you build a relationship with that song. But, you know, I really appreciate that in this song, I got it immediately and I was like, boom, I love it. And And it, you know, that really signifies a well-written pop song for me. Yeah, so that one's going straight onto my playlist. If you're new here, I've got a playlist going on Spotify. It's called Lucen's Current Vibe, and basically it's like all the music that is really inspiring me at the moment, you know? So when I go through these reactions and I discover new music, I always add my favourites to that list. So yeah, if you want to check it out and if you want to give it a follow, then I'll leave the link in the description for you. Okay, let's go on to the next song. This is song number 4. This is Homewrecker. Ooh. Yeah, critical of like traditional romance, I think. Ooh. Oh, okay. More bounciness. Alright, so the verse is just spoken. I love that. We're all really lovely until we get to know each other. Yeah. I broke 1,000,000 hearts just for fun. Yeah, wow. More of that story, I think, that character that she's building. So it sounds like this character's like a serial cheater, but on the surface she's fine, so she's just gonna continue going and pretending that she's not messed up, you know. Huh. Huh. It's about expectations, I think. Yeah, she's admitting the truth there, isn't she? Yeah. Huh. This relationship not destined to go anywhere, even though she knows that that's what they always want, but they're destined to make these bad decisions. And it's all to do with like expectations in relationships, and if everything is life and death, you know, what else is left? If you take things for what they are, then maybe you'll be happier. Cool. She's got a real knack for choruses in this album, isn't she? I think that's something that Ancient Dreams was lacking a little bit, maybe on purpose. Yeah, it seems to be more about more of this character, you know, and she's kind of revealing through those kind of spoken bits that this person has a very negative view on the world, a very negative view on love and relationships. And that kind of broken attitude is spilling over into other people's relationships as she's becoming a homewrecker. She's becoming a serial heartbreaker and going around, you know, breaking 1,000,000 hearts just for fun, you know. Rather than dealing with it, she's just going with it. It's got to be like a kind of criticism of people like that, you know. Maybe she was at the mercy of someone who was a homewrecker and she's kind of written a song from their perspective, you know. She's not necessarily just writing from her own experience, but almost like writing from other people's experience to kind of reveal her own opinions and experience. Do you know what I mean? Okay, let's go on to song number 5. This is Starring Role. You're hard to hug, tough to talk to. You're hard to hug and tough to talk to. All you give me is a heartbeat. Oh my god. When you're in my bed, all you give me is a heartbeat. Wow. Oh. Yeah. I love that. It's not a real love. Yeah. Yeah. Ah. Oh, lyrical. Brilliant. Oh my god. Huh. Wow. Oh, I love that. So this person is like, it's an unbalanced relationship. She's obviously more in love with them than they are with her, and she's lying in bed and not getting any affection or love or depth. I said my best regards from hell. Yeah. You're not the starring role in somebody else's heart. That's just so good, isn't it? Oh. Oh, love it. Oh, yeah. Whoa. Yeah. I love this. Like, she's not treated like she's, you know, anything more than ordinary in this other person's thing, and yet she loves them, you know. Ugh. If their love were a movie, she would be a supporting role, you know. Oh, I love that sound there. really well written song. Oh, I love like how she put that, you know, like lying in the bed, you're hard to hug, you're like, and the only thing I get from you from lying beside you is a heartbeat, you know. It's like he's not present, he's not there, he's not really committed into the relationship. She can't get any proper level of depth. On paper it all seems to work, like he gets on with her dad, but the truth is that she's not getting a real level, like depth of relationship with him. And to put that into like a kind of narrative context where she's not the lead actress in his love life is so inspired. It's very, very clever. I love it. It's really, really well written. I've never heard somebody, you know, write a song like that before. I'm really appreciating Marina's perspective because she seems to be really like writing songs that are about topics that you've kind of heard before, but in a way that I've never heard before, you know? Yeah, and that's another example of that. Love it. It's really hot today, and pardon the fan, like, but it's necessary. Otherwise, I'm not filming this today. I'm gonna have to wait for a rainy day, but I can't because it's gonna be heat wave. Oh, by the way, something I never actually seemed to tell you is that you can follow me on Instagram if you want. I post on Instagram fairly regularly, but more than I do on Twitter. Don't bother following me on Twitter. It's a waste of time. But yeah, like if you do want to follow me on Instagram, it's @SingSongDad. If you don't, then don't bother. It's cool. Try to do the plug, but not very good at it. Anyway, let's go on to the next song. This is song number 6. This is State of Dreaming. I like this vibe.
Millions of girls float on their one quote.
On their one quote. Huh.
Living on their last hope.
Oh, living on their last hope.
My sorry soul have it all.
Wow.
Is a play.
Wow.
My life is a play.
It's not real. She's just going through the motions. She's living in the dream. Oh, ha! Oh my god. Prediction City. Again, a really good chorus. So she's kind of like dreaming of this perfect life, having it all, but in the meantime, she's not really living, you know. I can relate to that. That's really like sad, isn't it? I'd sell my soul, you know, to have it all. Yeah, make-believe land. Yeah. Fear that she won't actually have it all. Wow. I really love how, like, succinctly and well written these songs are. Yeah. Oh, I can really relate to that feeling, you know, when you've got so many aspirations and so many kind of the way in which you kind of want your life to go that you don't actually live your life. You spend all the time just kind of waiting for everything to happen to you. You've got to enjoy it while you do it, you know. Yeah, have aspirations, that's great, but, you know, you've got to live at the same time, you know. Ooh, moody. Love that ending. I love a string like that, interval on strings. Almost like a commentary on like how her and maybe other girls and other boys like spend their whole lives looking towards the future, not living in the present, I think. Living in this like kind of make-believe land where you think you're going to have the perfect love and you're going to have the perfect job and you're going to have the perfect life, but you know, it's not always going to work out the way you expect it to. And I think that's what she's kind of getting at is that like, yeah, work towards stuff, but don't forget to live in the meantime, you know? I think that's something that I've struggled with in the past, especially like, you know, when it comes to this channel, some weeks I go to work, I come back, I record videos, I edit videos, and I put them out, and I don't do anything the whole week. I don't go out. I spend the whole week like indoors or at work. And then I kind of get to the end of the week and I'm like, I'm really stressed. Why? I'm like, oh yeah, because I literally haven't taken just a day for myself to enjoy. So that's something like, you know, I'm still learning now is that like I shouldn't sacrifice everything for the dream and sacrifice everything for my career as a music related person. Especially like now post pandemic, I think I'm really looking forward to trying to make the most of that extra time, you know. Cool. Okay, let's go on to the next song. Okay, so this is song number 7. This is Power and Control. Ooh, dramatic. Power and control. Yeah, okay. It's the same guy from Starring Role. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's like somebody maybe who's using their good looks to have power around those around them, and their charm maybe. But yeah, she's going to take them down. Love will always be a game. If you're obsessed with like beauty, then you're not gonna have the, you know, the depth of connection. I love that. Another really good chorus. She feels very disenfranchised with love, doesn't she? Not sure what she was saying there. I love this building tension. Yeah. Yeah, cool. I almost feel like the Electra in Electra Heart is referencing the music, the production, you know? It's really kind of like proper electronic pop music, isn't it? I love how big it is as well. Maybe she's going to reveal this person for who he is, you know? Cool. Yeah, I don't know, and not quite as engaging as some of the other songs, but like I appreciate like where she's coming from with it. She's almost like describing this person who, probably male, let's be honest, and seems to use their good looks and their charm to take advantage of other people around them. It's like, you know, it's like a power trip, and she's kind of vowing to kind of undermine that person. You know, she's very critical of like it not being real, you know, and it kind of seems like a maybe a general mission against people controlling one another, you know. Cool. Okay, let's go on to song number 8. This is Living Dead. Sounds like it's in the same key as the last one. Ooh, I like the drums. Cool. Stuck in a loop of a life that she doesn't really like, she doesn't really think that she deserves. Only a life when I pretend, in the inside she's dead. I love that, I'm living dead. A cool way to use that phrase. She's not happy in her life, is she? Or at least this character isn't. I like the beat of this one. That's so cool. Just kind of going through the motions. Yeah. It's a different vibe. Yeah. Love the filter that she's got on the bass and the kick drum. She's kind of regretting this life that she hasn't fully lived yet, you know? It's like a follow-on from State of Dreaming, isn't it? Turn it into she's turned it into a cool hook, you know. I could hear this at a Halloween party. Amount of times she says the word dead in that song. Dead, 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 dead. You could probably count it. It'd be funny to count. Yeah, cool. Yeah, that's like, I like that as a pop song because it kind of takes a well-known kind of phrase and turns it on its head and uses that as like a kind of analogy for her going through the motions and not really kind of living her life to the full and kind of regretting her decisions and have not really like committed to living her life. It's kind of like what I was saying with the State of Dreaming, how she kind of seems to be only living in her dreams, you know, not actually enjoying her life as it is and looking towards the future. This kind of fills in that narrative where she's only alive when she's pretending to be. Do you know what I mean? Well written, like that. I don't know, it's almost like electronic disco pop in a way. You could imagine it in a club. I think it would go down quite well. Let's go on to song number 9. This is Teen Idol. Oh, like an idol, IDOL, but it's not. It's IDLE. I get it.
I wanna be a bottle blonde.
Beauty expectations.
Wish I hadn't been so clean. Wanna be a real fake.
I want to be a real fake. Wow. Shit. So she's looking back on her childhood and kind of, you know, saying how she wasted it, you know. Wow. She's looking at all these kind of prom queen, teen idol type people and thinking, why didn't I have a childhood like that, you know? Ooh, yeah. Or maybe she's like playing the part of one of these kids who doesn't feel like they're represented in, you know, this media that projects these like perfect teen stories, you know. I love the double use of the word idol though, because it does kind of reveal both sides of the story, you know? Very clever. Cool. Oh yeah. This is a slightly different song, like the vibe is kind of different in this song. Oh, this person just feels like they're not good enough if they're not matching up to that kind of fake standard. I think it's so true, like so many teenagers I think feel like they have to live up to this kind of perfect standard that's represented in media, you know. But when they feel like there's that they can't live up to that, they feel like this. Yeah. I've got the lie. Is that what she's saying? Not feeling very super, are you, mate? Yeah. Wow. That's definitely heavy, like. And I think a lot of people can relate to that feeling that, like, they look back at their teenage years and if they didn't lose their virginity while they were a teenager, that they're somehow, like, late. Do you know what I mean? But I think it's just because it's portrayed so much on TV, you know, in these teen dramas that everyone's having sex and it's like, that's actually not realistic. Like, a lot of people don't lose their virginity till they're in their 20s. Like, the average age is actually a lot higher than you'd expect. Especially in certain cultures and certain countries, it's very different. But I think that, like, you feel like you're not good enough, that you're not living up to this kind of standard, or that you missed your youth and that you didn't have a great youth. But, like, I don't think anyone really does. And I think that actually most of us feel like we're not normal, but we are, you know? Clever wordplay and stuff as well, like the idea of like a teen idol, somebody who is like pageant queen or something, or a prom queen, versus an idle teen, IDLE, which is somebody who mopes around and doesn't do anything. They're the kind of two sides of the story. One being the kind of dream and the kind of what she expected for her teenage years, and one being maybe the truth. Teenagers are meant to be lazy, aren't they? Do you know what I mean? Okay, let's go on to the next song. This is song number 10. This is Valley of the Dolls. Ooh, a little bit more electronic soundscape here.
In the valley of the dolls we sleep.
Wonder where the Valley of the Dolls is for her. Maybe it's like the hole inside of her that she can't fill. She's not happy at all, is she? I'm not sure what the valley's referring to. Is that like maybe like... Oh, maybe it's the Welsh Valley. I feel like she's talking about like maybe childhood trauma. But almost like she was built in a factory like a doll, you know? And how even love can't seem to fix it, you know? Maybe it's talking again about being fake, you know, not having authenticity. Racing down into oblivion, yeah. Depression, definitely. Maybe a depression that she can't seem to fix. Oof. Yeah, okay. Maybe she feels like she's trying on different personas and not really kind of understanding who she is, you know, but it can't fix the hole inside, you know. I mean, she, or this character, you know, definitely seems very unhappy in their situation. And I think that kind of is kind of summed up again in how she's kind of describing herself in a way where she was like manufactured, you know, but she was manufactured with something broken inside of her, with a hole inside of her, with a hole inside her heart. And she's kind of languishing and going back to zero. Every time she sinks back into depression, she feels like she's going right back down to zero, and that no amount of love is actually fixing her. It's really dark, actually, when you think about, like, the lyrics that have gone into that song. I'm not sure about the kind of the vibe of it. I think it ended up being a bit not super interesting for me. I think this album's been a little bit mixed. There's a couple of, like, really, really, really good songs for me. And then a lot of, like, good lyricism and a lot of good wordplay, but not necessarily always coming together. I have enjoyed a lot of what I've heard so far, though. Let's go on to song number 11. This is Hypocrites, I think. Or Hypocrites. Yeah, that's how you spell hypocrite. Hypocrites. Oh yeah, okay. I was going to say that the spelling on that was a bit weird. I don't know whether it's about the philosopher. Maybe it's halfway between the philosopher and a hypocrite. Let's have a look. Huh. Sounds a bit brighter already though, doesn't it? More hopeful. I like that. Huh. Oh, you take me back to who I was. Oh, yeah, okay. Ooh. I like that as a hook. Yeah. Huh. I don't know whether she's in love with this person or trying to take them down. Right, okay. So he's the hypocrite, you know. It sounds like she's healed though. The earlier songs about this person seem to be much more like kind of angry, and this one she's kind of almost like rising above it, you know. I like this. I like the vibe of this. It's a little bit more optimistic. Ooh, key change. It's like a fake key change. Modular thing, I guess. Modal thing, even. I like this. So it's kind of like a bit retro in its vibe, isn't it? I like that. You let me go, and now I'm free of you. I think I'm free of like your control, you know. You liked to tell me who I was supposed to be. You liked to control me, but like actually your love wasn't real. You were a hypocrite. Oh, I love the ending. Cool, I like that. That was a refreshing change of pace for me. There's a lot of songs in there where she's very lost, very angry. So that was quite a nice kind of change of pace where it felt like she was kind of rising above it all and moving on. Yeah. So yeah, Hypocrites. Let me know what is going on with that. Yeah, who are you to tell me who I'm supposed to be? You don't know anything. You're just a hypocrite. And I'm tired of letting your influence like control who I am, how I behave, and how happy I am. You know, I'm kind of letting go of that. That's very much the vibe I get from that. Right, let's go on to the next song. This is song number 12. This is Fear and Loathing. Well, it's got like, is that the Morse code? I wonder if it spells something. That would be cool, wouldn't it? Ooh, it's definitely got that like old spaghetti western feel, isn't it? Yeah, I think she's kind of admitting the self-perpetuating nature of her depression. But now I can see it. Yeah, maybe she's getting to a point where she can trust people again. Nice. Her voice is so lovely when she goes up into a falsetto. Yeah, she's moving on. She's choosing to be more positive and be more optimistic. Yeah, she's kind of referencing the previous songs here, isn't she? Yeah, like the wanting to have it all, that was a state of dreaming, right? And now she's kind of just choosing to live her life, you know? I love how it's like a development, it's like a character arc, isn't it? It kind of sounds like a kind of thematic ending, especially considering I've seen what the last song is. I love that she's choosing to move past it, you know. I want to touch the edge of greatness. Wow. I don't want to be completely faithless. Yeah. She's over languishing in the depression. What's that in the background? Huh. Somebody singing. I wonder why this is like at the end. It does kind of sound like an end, doesn't it? Still got 5 seconds left. That does sound like an ending, but there is one more song on the end. I don't know whether that was like pegged on the end because it's a single in it. Because that emotionally, that really does feel like she's kind of come full circle and like she's now decided that rather than like, you know, living in the dreamland and living dead and regretting her past decisions, she's choosing to move on. She's choosing to like, you know, to actually take control of her own life. Of course, this could still be the character. I don't know, you know, but she's choosing to be more optimistic and to move on. And yeah, I think that's kind of like a kind of nice healing kind of thing. It kind of brings it all full circle and kind of creates like a full kind of character development, which I really, really appreciate in like a long form album. That's why I like listening to long form music. You know, you can use the different songs in a bigger context. Those songs can link together in a bigger context and tell you a longer story, you know, and I really like that she's done that with this. Before we go into the last song, if you've somehow got all the way to this point in the video and not subscribed, then what is going on? But maybe your mouse is broken. I don't know. Who actually uses a mouse anymore? Lol. If your touch screen is working, then boop, subscribe to Dad, to Lucent. You love it. Okay, let's go on to the last song. I have heard this one before. This was like a big single at the time. Yeah, and I remember like hearing it around a lot and thinking, this is very fun. I like this. I don't know why I never actually got into Marina before, because the songs I did heard I really enjoyed. Probably because I didn't have Spotify. I'm discovering so much music since I actually started paying for Spotify. I love it. Anyway, right, let's go on to song number 13. This is How to Be a Heartbreaker. Kind of sounds like it could be like a Britney song at this point, doesn't it? Do you know what I mean? Like, or like, you know, that era pop song. You gotta have fun. Rule number 1. Okay. First to run. Okay, cool. Just making notes. This is how to be a heartbreaker. This is such a good pop song. Like, thematically, it doesn't necessarily fit here. It should have gone earlier, you know, with like Prima Donna and stuff, but whatever. At least I think I do. I love that. It's just so good, isn't it? This is new rules before new rules, isn't it? Yeah, okay. Keep that wall up. Leave him wanting. It's all about control, isn't it? It's terrible. Stranger, a player saying I love you. She's definitely like, yeah, it's like that kind of power thing. But it's someone like really like going for it and loving it, you know. At least I think I do. I love this song. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. She's kind of revealing like the vulnerability here and why someone like this might be considered a heartbreaker, but actually they're not. They're just on the defensive. So then they put on this hard exterior, they put the walls up and they feign control because inside they don't feel like they have any control, you know? It's so weird. I love how she introduces the whispery thing and then kind of leaves you hanging and makes you want it. Right up to the end. So good. Yeah, that's just like the cleverest like little hook. I love that so much. Yeah, that's like such a good song because most of the song is like walls up, like sassy kind of like, you know, ha 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 ha, I don't care about a thing. But in the middle 8, she really does reveal like the deep-seated vulnerability and the fear of rejection and the kind of need to almost like control this person because they think they're going to be alone forever. Do you know what I mean? To try to avoid heartbreak. And really it's just revealing like how this person is kind of broken, you know? But I think it's kind of a reality for a lot of people. They kind of pretend to be in control of stuff or maybe try and control other people because they don't feel like they can control themselves. They can't control their own lives. And so they kind of, you know, project that. And so, yeah, so it's actually kind of like obviously very poppy and very fun, but like has that kind of hidden extra layer, which is perfect pop music in my mind, you know. Cool. Okay. So that's the whole album. For me, it's like a little bit of a mixed bag. There are some really, really, really good bops on there and some brilliant lyricism and some brilliant kind of storytelling and stuff. I don't necessarily think that every song quite brings it all together. Do you know what I mean? But some of it is just like really like the highs of pop music, you know, kind of anti-pop music. It's almost like she's very critical of pop music and is kind of actively going against certain tropes and stuff, but still managing to make it really hooky and really fun and poppy, which I really appreciate, particularly on Heartbreaker, How to Be a Heartbreaker, Prima Donna. But for me, like Lies was just... There was just something about that really, really got to me, and Starring Role as well. That and the singles, I think, they were all the songs where it really, really, really came together for me. And it kind of tells a story of somebody who is this kind of prima donna, like they have everything that they want. They're a heartbreaker, they're in control of everything, they think they're in control of everything. Under that kind of like wall, that's she reveals throughout these songs that this person is actually regretting decisions they made in their childhood, like not really living for the life that they have right at the moment, trying to take other people down, you know, feeling fake, feeling broken, feeling depressed. And she kind of like goes through all those different emotions, works through them all. Sorry, I had to take my headphones off. She kind of gets this character to a place where they kind of like can let go of all the resentments and actually just kind of move on and like start actually making a positive, optimistic life for themselves. Let me know what you think of the album. I think definitely for me, it's like, I think I enjoy a lot more of those songs on there than I did Ancient Dreams. So I'm looking forward to like digging into and letting some of these songs grow on me. Let me know what your thoughts on the album are. And of course, if there's anything I've missed, including all the context, all of what she said about it, what you think the song's about, let me know in the comments. I always get into the comments and I try and reply to as many as I can. And of course, come back next Friday for my Billie Eilish reaction. She's got a new album out. I'm not sure where it's going to go, but we'll see. Cool. Okay, before we finish, let's go on to the song of the week. I don't know what I'm gonna do. So for my song of the week this week, I'm going to actually choose Lily Allen. Obviously, she had a massive like career early on and she went away for quite a long time, but then she came back with this album that was really revealing and really like, you know, emotionally vulnerable and kind of filled us in on what's kind of been going on in her life. And it was so good. But there's one song on there that I wanted to pick, and that is Everything to Feel Something. And that is really kind of, for me, it's like the emotional crux of the album. And the central line being, I tried everything to feel something. And it just kind of details like how she really like went off the deep end with drugs and with, you know, sex, like to try and fill this hole in her heart. I think so much of her early success kind of took her to this like place of ego. It's like that story where like the fame kind of gets to them and they realize that they don't actually have anything real anymore. It really details in her really going to all lengths to try and really feel something and to really feel something real. It's really, really intense, but like I really appreciate an artist like her going to that place for music. So that's Everything to Feel Something. I will add it to my Song of the Week playlist and I'll leave the link in the description for that. Thank you so much for tuning in to the end. I'll see you next Friday, every single Friday, for another reaction. Cool. Yeah, bye.